Hello, for gaming community and Beyblade community as a whole. We are back today to revamp or kick back off our podcast. I know it's been a while. We took a break in preparation for Dark Continent. Just pretty much took a break to get some rest, get things prepared for Dark Continent, and now we're back. We're back here to talk about Beyblade. Also, I want to go over a few things as far as the podcast moving forward. We're going to go into, I guess, monthly or bi-weekly episodes, depending on what's going on that month. Sometimes we have more releases than not, or if there's a lot of tournaments, we'll try to do it bi-weekly. Um, Doing it every week was becoming a lot with my schedule. I won't speak on it for Crisis, but we're both dads, like you all know, and work and things like that. But we're gonna try to get you information out, content, keep you up to date with what's going on within the Beyblade world. All right. On the next note, we did just finish Dark Continent, and today we have a very special guest, JCMakeEmBurst, TJ, James, however you know him. He is the winner of Dark Continent 2022. It's our first annual event. And I want to say, well, we have Crisis here too. What's up, Crisis?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? All right, and we got JC Make 'em Burst. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much. You want to give us an introduction of who you are?
Sure. I'm James Coleman, and in the Beyblade community and on YouTube, I go by JC Make'em Burst. I'm in my mid 40s, and I got into Beyblade during the pandemic, trying to find things to keep us occupied, and I stumbled up on Beyblade, and the rest is history.
Yeah, solid, solid, man. I'm glad. I'm going to get into because I know you brought up your age. I want to speak on that a little bit later, as far as just the diversity within the community. Um, and you said, I'm sorry, I probably missed it or overlooked it. How did you get involved in Beyblade again, or how long have you been doing
Um,
it?
I only been doing it since 2020. As
Okay,
far as collecting Beyblades. Now, when it comes to the competitive scene, I've been doing it since 21. Yep.
okay. So you started collecting last year, and then you started. Was it your YouTube channel or just being involved in Beyblade in general in 2020?
Yes. Just being involved in general in 2020. So we bought it home and we played with it. So nobody was interested in it. But once we experienced the burst, we was hooked.
Yeah, yeah.
So I went back to the store. I didn't know what I was buying. I just bought a whole bunch of starter packs and singles from Hasbro, and we enjoyed it.
hmm hmm So how
So
did you? Wait, go ahead.
that's you and your son, right?
Yes, sir. Me and my son.
Okay.
Yeah. How old is
Well,
your
well,
son?
me.
Well, go ahead. Yeah.
Hold on. Well, me, my son, my daughter, my fiance at the time, and my other son. So we all played.
Everybody.
Yes.
Okay. Nice, nice little
That's nice.
family thing there.
Yeah, get the whole family involved into it. So
Mhm.
how did you come across? Because I know you said you were doing the Hasbro. Y'all were doing that. Well, first let me back up. Were you involved? Because a lot of the guests that we talked to, Mike and myself included, we're all nerds. Like not in our past lives, like in these lives now when we were younger. Did you play Yu-Gi-Oh? Were you involved in Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon when you were younger?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't involved in Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. I think the only nerdy thing I did, because I am a nerd too,
Yeah,
is chess.
chess. Okay, yeah, I play chess. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, very good.
yeah. We gotta play at some point. I play chess. Well, I still play chess to this date. It is my go-to. It's not. I say I
Hmm.
use it for relaxing. It's not a relaxing. Well, to me, it is a relaxing game. It's like a Zenist game. I take my time to think and do what I got to do. And I love the strategy in it. That's one of the reasons why I also love Beyblade, building the different combos and creating the strategy within that also. has helped me in a great deal, and chess kind of it helps me within Beyblade too. You know how it is. You're thinking, you're trying to make the best move that you can at the time and outsmart your opponent. And I feel like that's a big aspect as well as in Beyblade. We also have it in Yu-Gi-Oh. Um, Mike, I'm sure you can attest to that a whole lot. And
Oh
then
yeah.
as well as within Pokemon. Yeah. So I guess it's intriguing questions because you're new to the game. Um, and this is I don't want to take any questions away from you, Crisis, that you have, but how was the involvement that you got as far as um, let's speak, I guess, on your transition with your YouTube channel, and then as well as your transition as far as getting involved in Takara Tomy and the competitive life.
All right. So, as far as my YouTube channel, do you want to know how it all started,
Yeah,
or?
yeah. Like
All right.
how did it start, and like what it's about? Like what is your channel focus on? Is it competitive? Is it entertainment? Is it
Yes. So it's entertainment. Well, it started out as entertainment. Now it's kind of like trying to transition over into competitive. I'm trying to cover more competitive aspects and still try to provide some entertainment. That's my goal. How I started my YouTube channel, well, put it like this. I was already filming like some home videos of us,
Mhm.
and they wasn't structured.
Yeah,
So I'm on YouTube now. I'm searching for Beyblade content, and I stumbled up
Mhm.
on you. You guys already know. I stumbled
Nightwing.
up
Nightwing.
on yes, right.
Nightwing, yeah.
Yeah.
So so I stumbled up on Nightwing, and I said to myself, "Well, I guess I'm not the only one." All
Yeah.
right, I see this brother. He looks mature, similar to myself, and I'm like, "Wow,
Hmm.
okay." So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and start structuring these videos,
Yeah.
and I want to upload. But before then, I was like commenting on this channel from time to time because I thought it was awesome. I thought it was very awesome to see another brother doing this.
Hmm.
So he had posted a video and he was at a Target, and I recognized the location. So I said, okay, he's searching for something. Let me tell him what I found. So I told him about multiple Targets and Walmarts in the area, and he commented back, okay, you in the area. So one day we're gonna have to set up a battle. But it was during the
Yeah.
pandemic. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And I believe that's how it all started. I didn't upload my first video until January 21.
January of 21. So
Yes.
2020 you got involved, and then in 2021 that's when your channel started?
Yes, sir.
Oh dang. I thought y'all had been out. How do y'all know how long Nightwing's channel has been out?
um I
I don't know,
believe
man.
I
Hmm?
think I think he's been doing it since like 2018.
Man, that's a lot
2018,
of
I believe.
yeah, that's a lot of growth. Like I know y'all don't aren't in the hundreds of thousands, but y'all are in the tens of thousands of subscribers, if I'm not mistaken, right? And that's a
Well,
lot, especially you've been doing it just for like a year and a half.
yes. So right now I currently have like 3,000, and I believe that's good.
Hmm.
That is
That's
good.
good. So I'm kind of happy where we are. Um, yeah, I'm kind of happy.
That's what's up. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought y'all was doing it for a hot minute. I haven't looked at your how many subscribers that you have, JC, but I have seen your channel. I know it has a lot
Yeah.
of Hasbro on it. Um, I guess with jumping into that, was Takara Tomy, were you introduced with Takara Tomy or seeing it with the competitive scene once you got involved with
Um,
the WBO or
well, what happened was I ran into Zanky's channel,
Oh, okay.
and I was seeing Zanky with these different products, and I'm like, hold on. The one I have is very flimsy, but the one he has is very sturdy, and he's saying it's
Yeah.
Brave Valkyrie, and I'm like, it's not Brave Valkyrie, it's Brave Valtrack. Something is
Hmm.
wrong. So I looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
looked it up, and I'm like, hold on, $19, and this thing looks like it hits like a truck. So I
Hmm.
say, I'm gonna go ahead and order it. So I ordered it from, I believe, Bays and Bricks at the time. I found that online,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I kind of knew about the fake brands because
Hmm.
of Zanky's channel, and I believe it was ill enough. So I knew to stay away from certain ones. So it was Hasbro and Takatomi at the time because I didn't call it Chikara Tomy,
Yeah.
Takatomi. So Brave was my first one, and Brave was good, but it didn't blow up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was blowing up everything, but we couldn't burst it. So we threw it to the side.
Oh, because you, oh yeah, for you, because you was having it for your channel at the time.
Yes, and me and
Yeah.
my son's infatuation was the burst finish.
Hmm.
Right.
So he's like, Dad, this is no good. And we threw it to the side.
Yeah.
So that's how the name came about.
JC
Huh.
make
T
them
and J
burst.
make them burst.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
because
Oh
all we
yeah.
wanted to do was burst everything.
Hmm.
So Brave wasn't
Yeah.
no fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
Brave wasn't no fun then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could
No.
see that. Yeah, that's an interesting concept that I didn't even think about that because this, I guess it's something that definitely could be touched on from the YouTube aspect, getting into the competitive scene. Because from what I've noticed with playing, and Mike, you can definitely jump on this too. Some things that I've seen, Beyblade is big. Beyblade is huge. I
Yeah.
know sometimes like we do speak about like Beyblade not being as popular, but I think we're looking at that in the aspect of the competitive scene for our
Right.
tournaments and things like that. And like sometimes a lot of people show up, sometimes no one shows up. Sometimes there'll be a hiatus, but Beyblade has not died. And when I look at the YouTubers like Zenki, Nightwing, Left Burst, T and J Make 'em Burst, and who Beyblade geeks, things like that, and they have amongst themselves millions of subscribers. So
Mm.
it's not dead, but there's that entertainment aspect, like you said, like make them burst. Because we'll look at Brave Valkyrie. It may not be valuable to us, but for a different reason, on the
Yeah.
competitive aspect of it. And you were like it wasn't of value to you because of your channel and entertainment. It wasn't bursting, so it wasn't good
Yeah.
for your fan base. And that's something that I had looked at. Mike, have you ever thought about that too? Like the differences we have. Like we have one Beyblade community, but it's like different sects of it. We have the competitive scene, we have some old school Beybladers, and then we have like the entertainment factor. I feel like
So so the thing is like, all right, obviously I'm more a competitive blader than the others.
yeah.
Um, so when I come looking in at Beyblade, I'm looking at it from the competitive aspect of like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like when I go to a Yu-Gi-Oh event, I'm playing against 400 or 500 people if I go to a big event.
Hmm.
Where we just now had Dark Continent and we had 56 players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in that aspect, for me, when I look at it, Beyblade isn't that big. But you are
It's
right. When I look at Zanky's channel, Beyblade's huge. There's a million
mhm.
people watching videos about Beyblade. That's wild.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's the thing is isn't isn't big. And the reason for that, honestly, it's just because Hasbro doesn't do anything to get involved.
Yeah.
Like their involvement in competitive play is not almost non-existent. They have what, maybe one tournament a year, and it's 13 and under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we get shafted on it compared to WBBA and Takara Tomy, where they're like, yeah, no, we're gonna have just they'll have different age groups, but they'll have a lot of tournaments. They have places that hold weekly tournaments.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh scene over there for them. Beyblade is like another concept of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just something competitive. You have a locals, you go and play at your locals weekly, you know, and that's the difference. That's the big difference over there to here. Like here, Yu-Gi-Oh, Konami is still involved with Yu-Gi-Oh and the TCG just like it is in the OCG. So
Mm.
they are funding big tournaments and saying we're going to have these big tournaments, funding locals to persuade them have local tournaments.
Yeah.
Hasbro isn't doing that. The Karatomi's doing that over there. Hasbro's not doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
thanks,
it.
bro.
Were you about to say something, James?
No, I'm just shaking my head because it's 100% true, and I agree with everything that Crisis just said. Mm, it's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's 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 just sad that Hasbro isn't getting more involved with it. I get it that I believe Hasbro owns Wizard, which is Magic.
Yeah.
So they dump a lot of money into Magic, which Magic has tournaments that are the winnings are like $10,000.
Hmm.
Wow.
You're putting all this into Magic, but you're not putting an ounce of anything into Beyblade. That's upsetting. And
Some of
Beyblade is
it.
a big thing.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. It is. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second. And I recently thought about this. Yeah, I know y'all can hate me. The reason, one of the things that I look at, and it's in their aspect, Hasbro is still, they're not a part of the community like that, and there's no telling even if they're a part of the nerd life, and I guess and I recently came to this understanding. I was actually talking to my wife about it last night. Y'all know Blizzard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Blizzard and BlizzCon. They had BlizzCon a couple years back, and if this has been updated, please someone feel free to correct me. Uh, Blizzard, or when you talk about the nerd life and you have people that are involved, that company has started off with guy created a game with him and his buddies. I don't know if they moved out to what Silicon Valley or whatever, and they did their thing during that wave. But as the company grew, they got shareholders, people invested in the money, and I know when Diablo 4, I think it was, that was coming out, or they wanted Diablo 4 to come out, and they ended up releasing a. Have y'all heard about this? Before I
Brief,
was just
like
trying to.
I've heard a little bit. I used to play World of Warcraft, so I
Yeah,
know a amount about Blizzard.
and James, if you haven't, I am going to bring it to a central thing, but like Diablo is a big game. It's huge, and I think it was Diablo 4, and all the fans were waiting for it to release, waiting for it to come out. And
Hmm.
at BlizzCon, they talked about how they were releasing a app for Diablo. And at the time that they were releasing this app, that's when, mobile apps were the thing. Like, even we know now, you go in there, you spend some money I think playing Clash of Clans and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
generates the money. And on the aspect for the players, the Diablo players and like Blizzard community, like on the nerd life, they were highly upset, which I feel like they should be, because it wasn't anything that would cater to them. They don't want to play on their cell phones or on a tablet. They want to be able to play on their computers or how they were playing before, with their
Got
buddies and things like that, and have the upgrade because that's what's better for their community within it. But on the business aspect, it's like we get that, like you guys are, but they wanted to expand and to have more money with for their shareholders and things like that, people that aren't involved in the game. And when I thought about that on Hasbro's aspect, because we don't have, and it could 100% be their fault, but we don't have as big of a community when it comes to the competitive side. But they do have a lot of people who um, are in for the entertainment, are in for the collecting, and that shows with the YouTube channel, at least in the United States. So I'm not saying that I agree with what they're doing, but I understand um, in their business aspect of what they're doing. And one of the reasons um, why I guess I'm not as upset about it is because it has left a window or a door of opportunity for us, like the members within the WBO, to create our own thing. And we're not governed so much by a big corporation. Because you think right now, like we have the opportunity to make our own rules and formats for the community. You know, it's not like if you think if Hasbro had it all right now and they were doing what they wanted to do, and we had some complaints and this and like that, we wouldn't really be able to change anything. It'll be like they'll listen to us, but they're like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. We had the money, we have this, but we have a sanctioned organization with the WBO. If we get up there and we post a forum and we make enough stink about it, and we'll be like, "Hey, man, this needs to change or this needs to be done." Even though they may take some time, they will hear us because we're all part of one community. So I don't know if that helps or hurt. I wanted to play devil advocate for a little bit, but I did. I am thankful that we're able to have our own thing. It does suck that Hasbro isn't as involved, but we do have an opportunity. I think now, especially with like the circuit, I know Team Palooza is about to become a thing. Um, there's a lot of people who are hitting me up wanting to be organizers and getting involved and things like that. So hopefully we can grow. And to pick back up where we left off with James, I know you said it started off as entertainment, but now you're in the competitive scene. Is your channel going to shift? And it's okay if it doesn't. Like you definitely have to do what's best for you and your channel. But how has that competitive aspect changed your channel? And I'll reach back to you too, Mike, because I didn't want to like cut you off if you wanted to respond to what I said.
I have stuff that I could say, but honestly, this is about JC. This isn't about let's debate about Hasbro.
All right, all right.
So we'll
Yeah,
save that for another day.
all right, all right. We'll do that. We'll do that. Go ahead, JC. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, as far as the competitive videos, I am starting to do more competitive videos using Takara Tomy Beyblades. But
Mhm.
the base of my channel came from my Hasbro videos.
Yeah.
So, and I believe at the time it was only like maybe one other channel that was doing Hasbro, and that's Spider. So, Spider's people would come over to my channel.
Hmm.
So that kind of helped me grow. Um,
Okay.
right now, with me trying to upload more competitive, used Beyblades and combos, they kind of disappearing.
Right.
Use.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so basically what I'm saying is I'm uploading more Takara Tommy videos.
Yeah.
So the
Is that?
Hasbro
Oh, go
people
ahead.
are kind of leaving. So
Yeah.
I have to kind of accommodate both. So I'm gonna
Right.
go
I
back and
understand
forth.
that. Yeah.
And my son is incorporated in this too. So he started with me and he's into having fun. So I want to make
Hmm.
fun videos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%. I
yeah,
know. Because I was gonna ask you, if you have any advice for us, but then I also thought because when we talked to Zenki, um, it reminded me of what you just said because he has his main channel for the entertainment focus or just for like product reviews and things. And then he
yeah.
created that separate channel for the competition, competitive play. And it's nowhere near as big as his main channel. Um,
True.
but I didn't know if that was the avenue also that you could have taken because I definitely don't you don't want to lose your I guess day ones. Yeah, it's my slang. You don't want to lose those people that were
Your
following
base
you from the
audience.
beginning. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
your base audience and um just just trying to do things. It's like, you got to be um loyal to them and also loyal to yourself and be able to have that content diversity. But I understand it. Like it's going to take some
yeah,
time and work from all of us to get the competitive scene growing. But I think that's what we're focusing on. Um, yeah. Mike,
Yeah,
you have anything
true.
on that?
I mean, when it comes to channels, honestly, the thing that I feel that has hurt channels the most, where they have to be divided like that, like because the channel I
Mm,
work on, I do nothing but the Karatomi stuff, so I'm just showing some competitive stuff, explaining, the competitive aspects to a Beyblade when I open it. I'll literally, Zyphoid. I threw the disc and driver to the side, and I was like, you don't need them. They're not worth
Mhm.
it. The rest of this is good. Here's why. And it's like, the I feel like the reason that everything is so divided is just because Hasbro took that different way from Takara Tomy.
Yeah.
Metal Fight and Plastic Gens, everything was the same.
Hmm.
It didn't change. So if you had a channel for just Hasbro, it's the same thing as Takara Tomy. So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
With them being so drastically different is what has divided the community into two separate things now.
yeah, true,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I could see that because it split in bursts, right?
Yeah, Burst started out with the only difference in the original Burst stuff was just they used slopes instead of teeth. Which honestly, that was fine. If that was the only change they made through the entire thing, it would be fine. But
That would be fine.
instead, yeah, but instead what happened is they got to, what was it, Cho-Z series, and they just were like, well, everything's supposed to have metal, but we're not going to put metal on it. And then we're
Hmm.
just gonna, next thing you know, they're hollowing out the layers, they're hollowing the discs. The drivers now don't have the same gimmicks. So, just stuff gets really like lost. Like,
Yes.
and it feels weird because the TV show is like the TV show is the commercial for it. So kids are sitting here watching these Beyblades do cool things on the show, and then they go buy it and they're like, this looks nothing like that and doesn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah. So, James, I think as far as my channel, the reason why I haven't created another channel is because I really want to like be the one that join both of the
The worlds
communities
together.
together. Yes.
Yeah.
And I also have Takara Tomy guys that always say, I never thought about Hasbro until I seen your channel. And it's what I do with the Hasbro Beyblades.
Hmm.
So I put a Hasbro Beyblade up against the Karatomi Beyblade, and it performs pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially
So
in
I try
opposite.
to, yeah. So I try
But
to join both brands or both brand lovers together.
yeah.
That's my objective.
Yeah. What was you
Yeah,
saying, Mike? Did you say something, Mike?
I was just saying that Hasbro is definitely really more interesting when it gets into opposite spin matchups.
Yeah.
that's it. Same spin, no good.
No,
Yeah.
like
No good.
they are definitely like if you could use rotation changing gimmicks, there's a lot of stuff you could do with Hasbro then.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
only have yeah, I only have a few Hasbro bays, and that's from collecting. When I initially got involved in Beyblade, and I don't think I've ever talked about this. I wanted to be because I'm always about the underdogs. I wanted to be a player that used Hasbro bays and was beating Takara Tomy. But then after I went to like the first tournament, I was like, I don't think that's I don't think that's gonna happen.
Sounds like me.
Um, yeah, and I was like, I don't think that's gonna happen. Not logically anyway. Like I may be able to get creative, maybe in deck format with if I could structure my deck to be specifically against a meta with some opposite spins, but I had to make
Yeah,
it through first stage first. Um, moving to the next topic on with that, I want to, I guess, talk about more with the competitiveness and you're a Maryland player, and Maryland has an immense scene. So
yeah.
Dark Continent. So you won Dark Continent. Maryland, they took the gold overall. I mean, you won it, and you took the legendary title back to your state, back to your region. How was the event for you?
That was the event. The event was awesome. It was the biggest event that I've been to, and the people were amazing. I mean, to tell you the truth, I didn't even know that I was at a competitive tournament.
Hmm.
Everybody was relaxed, and I think that helped me.
Yeah,
That helped me a lot. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. I know. I think. Wait, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
I think I tried to, and it's not just me. Like I got it. I thank you, Crisis. I thank you to all the judges. Robert Lawler, Geester, LJ Blader, CSC Raymond,
Yeah.
Archipel Frost, Beyblade Blast 11, and they really helped me. It helped me get things going. Crisis helped me with setting up for
Yes.
with the on-site
Challenge.
registration challenge. Geester and Bobby handing out the wristbands and things like that, which gave me the opportunity to give everyone a warm welcome. Um,
Hmm.
I did feel a little bit of that vibe too, to where it was like the competition was going on, but it wasn't like people weren't tense and angry. We had
Yeah.
the play area, the free play area, which I wasn't going to do at first, but then I wanted to have fun, which actually turned out to be, I think, pretty sweet. So I am very thankful for all of. We'll say it's the staff there, and I'm glad you got to experience that to get you
Yeah.
lax, or to feel comfortable. Like with that though, like what were because there was the competition there. I think you lost. You only lost once the entirety of the day. Um, how did that match go? I just want to know because I didn't see it. You went
Well,
against Bay Caddy.
um, yes, Bay Caddy, and he's an awesome blader.
Hmm.
Um, he was kind of unpredictable. So I do recall him having a Dynamite F with Dragon, and I believe he had I think it was Over and High Stand Plus. And
Hmm.
the last combo that sealed the deal was a Prominence. I think it was Prominence Valkyrie. I forgot what armor and this it was, but I know the driver was Burn Dash.
Hmm.
And um it was a tough battle. I think we went back and forth for a while, and then he scored the last point. Or it could have been I don't think it was 3-1. I think it was 3-2. But it was a great battle. And I think he took a risk. I think he
Yeah.
took a chance, and it
Did,
paid off for him.
did the Providence
Yeah.
go against something in left spin?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Yep. Yep. That'll do it.
Yeah.
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 Prominence is super good for the opposite spin. Like
Yeah.
if you get lucky on that, like Prominence on bearing is really good for the opposite spin matchups.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
it's good.
I
Oh,
didn't
go
feel
ahead.
like I lost though. I didn't feel like I lost at all. I walked away and I said, okay, I'm ready to do it again.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe it was the atmosphere.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, my
Yeah.
my my only two losses to Queez the Beast and LJ Blader, and I didn't get upset about it at all. They were both close games, and it was
Yeah.
definitely a fun time.
Yeah.
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 It's awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad everyone enjoyed their experiences. I lost. I went 3-3. I think I know I did the worst out of the three of us in this conversation. I lost I got to play Crisis for y'all. We got to do our first WBO battle. I think it was 3-2, right?
Yep,
I
3-2.
didn't. Yeah, 3-2. I have a terrible combo on my deck that it kind of got exploited a couple of months back. With that
That's a
last North Carolina
reboot.
or huh? Yeah, the reboot dash. It was doing decent for me before, and then it's like I don't know if my launch changed or it just got exploited as a terrible combo. But I'm definitely throwing that one in the trash, and I'll bring something else back. Um, but yeah, I had fun. I guess my
Don't
biggest
give
thing
up on
was
it.
yeah, but I like to win. You know what I'm saying? I
That
like to win.
That actually gives me a question. JC, did you run the same deck all the way through, or did you change combos up between rounds?
Um, no, I didn't change combos. I ran the same deck. I believe I changed the armor on Dynamite. I started out with no, I didn't start out. I started out with 9, and I believe in the battle with Bay Caddy, I went to 6.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
Yep.
what was your deck the whole way through?
Whole way through it was Dynamite F, Perseus, um 9 with Over and Burn Dash, and Vanish Longinus with Zero, Giga, High Stem Plus, and Guilty Fafnir with 3, Legacy, and Extreme Dash Hasbro.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty
Yeah.
solid deck. The start of the tournament, I ran Dynamite, Vanish, and Zyphoid. And then I just realized I'm bad with launching attackers. It cost me 2 losses. It was going in the trash can after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zyphoid is good, don't get me wrong. I'm bad with attackers. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Same.
No, you're not bad with Attackers Crisis. No, no.
I'm
You're
not where
pretty
I
good.
want to be. How's that?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But as far as
speaking,
attackers, I think I'm getting better with attackers. So I'm kind of comfortable and confident with my guilty combo.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it's on extreme also, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah. There were a lot of there was a lot of attack at this tournament, and it wasn't like, oh, like I just want to try something crazy. Like there was a lot of good attackers at this tournament. Yeah, like Breaker Bahamut ran a triple extreme deck, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think he beat
Yeah,
Wow.
TSO.
he did. I believe he did. With a triple extreme deck and Excalibur. What I want to talk on Excalibur more a little bit later, but um, Excalibur did extremely well. Even in the
Yeah.
finals, like man, we got to shout out MJ the best, 6 years old, and that's what I want to say. Because
Wow.
you're in your mid 40s, and it was beautiful to me to see. The most beautiful thing for this tournament was to see the communities come together. It was one competitive Beyblade community, but just also all the regions and having a good
Yeah.
time. And first place in his you're in your mid 40s, and second place was 6 years old, and it
Yeah.
showed like there is skill involved with this game. It's not about how strong you are or how old you are. Like everyone can get out there and play. You put together some good combos, you practice with them, you can do well.
Hmm.
um
True.
and that was really shown with Dark Continent, and wanted like what I wanted to bring out, even though this year is going to be different next year, with the invitations and things like that. But
Hmm.
on the same aspect, the level of competition at this tournament, there were so many highly skilled and high ranked bladers. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it would be pretty much the same next year, even with the invitations, just because of the amount of skill that was there this year. And hopefully the vibe is still sweet and chill. I definitely want to run that because I don't want, man, y'all know how it gets. People get toxic and angry and things like that, and it's like nobody wants to come back, or you feel intense the whole time. And even though it's like, okay, yeah, you got to be ready. It's like it kind of takes the fun away, and you feel like you got to be on guard all the time. You're not making new friends. You're just
Yeah.
angry and trying to play
Yeah.
um out of anger. So
Don't be angry. Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. With
Yeah.
that, I guess I wanted to ask. We can get to some questions, a couple of questions, if you had some, Mike. I know I had one that was as far as your experience, because when you started off, you were using the Hasbro bays. I remember you at Nightwings tournaments and this and that. And
Yep.
this is actually your third tournament you won in a row. You went from Bladers Kingdom Invitational, and then you won the Boring tournament in Maryland, hosted by Deceased Crab, and then you came and won Dark Continent. So your play, like, what are some of the things I guess that you've learned, or some of the things that has helped you um, becoming
Um,
a competitive blader?
Becoming a competitive blader.
Yeah.
Basically, just using combos that you know that works. I mean,
Art knowledge.
yeah, yeah.
Art,
Um,
art knowledge is a big
wait,
thing.
yeah, true indeed. Just having knowledge of particular combos or I'm not gonna say the combos itself. I'm gonna say the parts. So once you find out what the meta parts are, now you can begin.
Hmm.
That's that's what I would say. Once I found out what the meta parts were, um, I think my car started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I think my car started.
Yeah.
And then I started to realize I started weeding out like the bad blades, like saviors. I wanted to use attacks, saviors,
Mhm.
and um, I wanted to use prominence, but I never brought it to a tournament because I
Yeah.
ended up going right back to Dynamite F.
Yeah.
Right.
I went right back to Vanus Longinus. So that's what works. And you have to practice, you have to test your combos. I mean, and you'll realize that that's that's the meta. And that's what's going to make you competitive.
Hmm.
I mean, just because you're in the
Really
competition,
unique.
it doesn't mean that you are competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Sure.
what's really unique when it comes to the WBO is the fact that our tournaments all have two separate formats. Like when you go to a tournament, you have your regular format, whatever you're playing, and then you have WBO deck in the finals.
Hmm.
WBO deck allows so many parts that normally you would not want to use in a regular format to be used, and I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think that's really nice. Like we were talking, JC just mentioned prominence. I will never take prominence into a Swiss match because
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to go against a left spin or a right spin, and it's too much of a gamble to do that.
Yeah.
That's
So,
true.
but as soon as I get into deck format, well, I can decide I'm only going to use this when they're going to pull out their left spin Beyblade,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
that's what's unique. That like deck format is where you see a lot of interesting things. I mean,
Hmm.
like for a while here in Maryland, we had double drifts being a thing with one on Roar, one on Prominence, and then next thing you know, me and Geezer started running only World on Drift, and then the other two for the same spin matches, and it was clapping it, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was
I
like,
agree.
yeah. Then it gets to a point where people realize our deck's pretty good. Like at Boring Tournament, me and JC played the straight mirror match. That was
Hmm.
hard. That was hard.
Yeah, it was for both of us.
Like that's honestly the point where I realized like launching style and probably even part molds can matter too. I don't know what the molds on JC's Vanish were, but his Vanish was clapping mine every time. So we had the same exact combo, but his Vanish was getting in there.
Yeah.
Getting in
Yeah.
them
And
cheeks
your
with
Dynamite
this.
Perseus was beating mine.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
Perseus was beating his, but his Vanish was beating mine. And of course, we're in this weird thing where because our drifts are on left spin, his deck was built correctly because with it being the straight mirror match with our world on drift being left spin, if I went with the right spin, he just goes to world and it's a really hard matchup for me to even try to win. So I have to
Yes.
start in the left spin. So then he goes with the left spin for the mirror match, and his just whatever either his launch or the mold he has and everything just was very superior to mine. Like I
Yeah.
could I could not knock him out of the center, and he was destabilizing me the entire time.
Yeah.
And was it was the opposite way when y'all would go to Perseus?
If it was both dynamites, mine could take the center.
Uh, and then,
Yep.
but you always had to worry because he had that world combo.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Look.
and that was the strategy of that whole match. Like, because when he would have to choose first after losing a point, his best option is to go vanish.
Hmm.
Yes.
So our best option both times for either one of us was to be Vanish,
Yeah.
and it was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was telling you the other day, James.
Hmm.
When you get into deck format, um, the objective is I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. So the objective is try to isolate your opponent to using one bay.
Hmm.
Yep.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what? That is the whole reason why I feel we need 2-point KOs, because then you could use attack the same way. Like right now,
Yeah.
there's no reward for attack in deck format, really.
Not at
Like,
all.
because if you make a mistake on your launch and you just go straight into the pocket, you just put yourself behind. Where if it was, quick launch in stealth KOs is 1 point to your opponent, but then like regular KOs is 2. Even if you messed up that launch and lost 1 point, if you did it again and actually got the hit and the KO, you're right back in the game.
True.
Because
Yeah.
for the other formats that they have, that's what they have. They have 2-point KOs
Hmm.
in classic and stuff like that. So
KOs.
Yeah, let's bring it up.
Yeah.
mm,
It could be a thing. I only worry with the self KOs. Um. Because that would suck in that aspect. Like granted, you do have to know how you want to launch. But Mike, do you have another question for JC?
um
Because I wanted
no,
to add something, but it will bring us to the next topic. But I didn't
yeah,
want to leave this one yet.
nope, go ahead.
So
All right.
the other thing I was thinking for the KOs, because I know we talk about the meta and the stamina game. I don't play with attack. I'm not decent with it. But the things that I was seeing, or I think that we all saw at Dark Continent, was Excalibur and how insane it was, not only for the KOs, but also for the
Yeah.
burst. It was making Beyblade's burst like we were playing classic or like first gen,
Hmm.
which is something that we never see with newer generation, especially Dynamite. Like burst wasn't even a thing for the longest time until we got to Dark Continent, and it was like guilty and Zyphoid going together. You know, it's going to be a big clash. Like probably wear some protective gear if you're judging because you probably get hit. But what in that aspect do you think? I think it's too early to say like Zyphoid is too overpowered and to just make KOs like all the time. But as far as the meta and the balance within it, what do y'all think on Zyphoid?
Well, honestly, I think Zyford is risky.
Yeah.
I think yes, yes, because you can boost yourself.
You can.
So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so for me, um, I honestly will stay away from it. But if my opponent uses it and the timing is right and it's right spin on right spin,
Hmm.
man, I think I'm in trouble. I
Yeah,
think I'm in trouble. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because from me and my son practicing with it,
yeah.
it blows up every right spin.
Mm,
I don't care what driver is on it. It can be a
yeah.
double dash. It's blowing
Mm,
up.
mm,
Yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely gonna be a part of the meta attack, but
Hmm.
you're taking a risk. So I choose not to
Yeah,
take that risk. Crisis.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, Zyphoid I think has really balanced out the meta. Because for like when we had Boring Tournament, it was a single bay tournament, and honestly, I had no fear running Dynamite the entire time.
That's
I
what I
had,
did.
yep, I had no fear doing it because against a less spin attacker, I'm not really too worried about bursting or getting KO'd. Because
Hmm.
I can just light launch, and if they launch too hard, they can self burst from a slow motion burst, or in reality, I'm just gonna steal some spin and get hit into the wall a couple times because I launched. I launch in specific areas to try to limit the risk factor of getting KO'd.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But Xiphoid coming into the picture makes that more dangerous to do. Because I come up against a Xiphoid, they have a high possibility of KOing me if they know how to launch, or a high possibility of bursting me because I'm on bearing dash.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
That's scary.
so I think Xiphoid has really balanced out the meta now to where you actually have to consciously think about attack. Before, I didn't consciously have to think too much about attack because in reality, Ultimate I'm not scared of. It doesn't hit as hard as it needs to. And Savior, with where the contact points are and the way they are, it self-bursts too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So Xiphoid really brought a lot to the table.
Yeah.
So
Because you only had to think about guilty before that, and you just go opposite spin, and you're fine for the most part.
yes, for the most part.
Yep.
You just have to figure out what part of the stadium to aim for, just like Tyson said. So
Yeah.
in the video when I battled who was that? Keist the Beast?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the first time he KO'd my Dynamite, then I went to Vanish Longinus. So I noticed that he caught me right on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So when I launched, my Beyblade went to the right and he KO'd me. All right. So when I use Longinus, I aimed for the center.
Yeah.
It went into the center. His guilty ran around me, and then it was cat and mouse. He was chasing me, and then he lost all his steam, and it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the same thing with Dynamite the next time.
Yep.
I just dumped mine into the center. So I held my launcher to the side, and once the judge said 3, 2, 1, go shoot, I pulled the string and turned the launcher to the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's another thing too when it comes to the meta with attack and stuff like that. When attack is more scary in the first stage because you're only seeing your opponent launch it once, maybe twice. So you don't get to get used to how they're launching. But as soon as you get into deck format, at the Boring tournament, I forget who I played against, but he was using an all-attack deck pretty much. And he got the first 2 points quick and easy, but after that, I saw how he was launching and where he was aiming for most of the time.
Yes.
So then after that point in time, I think he only got one other point on me, and I just went straight to 5 points basically. Because you learn that stuff. Like a good blader learns to watch what his opponent's doing and adjust things.
Yeah, make adjustments. Yes.
Yeah. That's like Deceased Crab will get upset with me because in 3v3 I still only bring over one launcher and switch the things around. And he's like, why don't you bring 2 launchers? It's faster. The reality is when I'm taking that time to shift the gears around, I'm actually thinking, because we've already revealed Beyblades, I'm actually thinking, where do I want to throw my launch into the stadium?
Yeah.
Strategy.
Like, there's tactics in it all. I definitely learned that from playing in deck.
Yep.
I will always say this. Deck is WBBA, WBO, or any format, even FGC. Deck is the most strategical format. Only reason why I won't run it through the whole thing is because it takes so long. But if you're looking for the best blader and who has the most skill, it needs to be deck.
Yep.
So I'm glad that it's finals.
True.
Yep.
True.
Which is nice because you use the regular format to get through the 64 competitors, and then the top 8 can then play in deck format to know who's better.
100%. And it's the 5 points instead of the 3, so you actually have that time to, like you said, come up with that. Come up with strategy. Take a deep breath for a second, because I've seen that happen in finals too, man. Sometimes, and it definitely happened to me when I first started playing, because you don't see all the advantages to deck, and you might have a combo there that can beat the combo that is smashing you, but you get frustrated and you're like, oh, I really want this one to work, or I believe it can work from my testing and stuff like that, and then it doesn't, and then you'll go
Yeah.
back and you'll be like, it happens to me, like I'll leave and my son will come up or a friend will come up and be like, dude, why don't you use this? And I'm like, oh man, like I should have,
Yeah.
even I played Geester one time and he was like, I thought you were going to use this. And I was like, man, I should have. It would have gave me a better chance. But you get caught up. It's like the isolation, and sometimes your opponent, they get into their own heads. I get into mine. It's a thing, but you have to
Mhm.
take that second to relax. Um, I want to say
Yes.
we are coming up on time, but y'all got anything else?
Um, um, Team Palooza,
Oh
Team
yeah,
however you pronounce it.
yeah.
Team
Team
Palooza.
Police.
Are you guys looking forward to it?
I am. I mean, luckily for us, North Carolina's not doing it.
Oh
Just because
no.
the only two organizers they have is James and Frost. Really, Frost is
Yeah.
Okay.
having a baby, and James is, he's got the circuit and stuff to worry about.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So they don't have anyone down there that can actually host. And so that actually makes me happy, because then my buddy Robert Lawler is able to come up here and play with me in Geekster.
Yeah, so they have a solid team. I will be watch. I don't know if he'll stream it when y'all go down there, but hopefully so. I know I'll
Yeah.
keep tabs and track on that because it's a WBO format, but it's another aspect for competition with the teams. So
Yep.
it is something that is exciting and solid to look at. Are y'all joining that, JC?
Yes.
They're in it.
Okay.
Yes.
It's
So
AC, Nightwing, and Maxrod, right?
yes, I believe so. Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Um, pretty strong. Pretty strong team.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
one of the ones that where we actually, are like, okay, we got to watch out for these guys.
Yeah.
There's actually a
Yeah.
couple teams for the Maryland that have registered that you gotta watch out for.
Hmm.
True.
You've got us, you've got JC's team, you have Deceased Crab's
Crab.
team,
Yeah.
and you have TSO's team right now.
Oh yeah.
So
Who's on Crab's team?
TSO
Is it
scares
Mama
me.
Bay?
Mama
Yeah,
Bay and
TSO.
LJ are with Crab, and TSO, Red Ninja, and Fried Pasta are a team.
Yeah.
Wow.
TSO scares me, man.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's she's very clever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very, very clever. I mean,
You got to
yeah.
watch her play deck, or even if you're not in finals, I think that's the only way you'll be able to see it. But like the way and the thought process she puts into is to me everything. And I've only been to a few tournaments with her, but it's like every time that I see her play when she goes to deck, it's not like anything is predetermined. She sits there for a minute and she thinks, and
Hmm.
I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's
She
not to
Yeah.
takes
get too deep
longer than
into.
most people to think it out. She's doing a lot of like analyzing when she does it.
Yeah, she does, and it's unique to see, and then she does well. She's
Yes.
very skilled and knowledgeable when it comes to the game.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Uh, another, actually, another question, James. So, talking about Dark Continent and the season you have coming up. I mean,
Okay.
I already know the answer for
Which
this.
James? Are you talking to me
Oh
or?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Stay cool. So,
Okay.
Okay.
okay, so I already know the answer to this because we've had a conversation, but this is for people that might not know the answer because they haven't talked to you personally.
Okay.
Um, Gen 4 is going to be coming out. We don't know when exactly, but say it comes out during next year. Dark
Hmm.
Continent is still going to be burst for this year, though, right?
100%. So, and the reason for that is Dark Continent. The season's running from August through April, which I'll shout it out now. There's no tournaments for August, so there may not be even one that pops up every month because I can only do what I can do. And Team Palooza is going on right now. So the other organizers involved, hopefully they'll be able to step up around December or next year. But either way, we'll all be playing Burst all the way through April. And usually around March, April, May-ish is when the new season will come out, um, or at least for new burst seasons. I'm not sure if Gen 4 will come out at that time, but even if it does, because Dark Continent, I mean, you think about it, if we've all played to get the invitations, and we played in burst, it won't be kind of odd. It would be weird to have all those players come and play in a whole new format
Right.
because one of the things I'm looking for the top competitors from that season. And Gen 4, like, yeah, I mean, you may have been good with Burst, but you may be trash with Gen 4. Who knows?
Right.
Um, so once Gen 4, that will be for next year or for like the 2023, 24.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then we'll do Gen 4 if it comes out. And plus, I do want Dark Continent to always be highly competitive. So once the new parts come out, even though they usually release like a set and random booster and all this and that, I want people to get comfortable to see who's really interested because I've seen with Beyblade, like I know from Metal Fight to Burst, a lot of people weren't even interested in Burst because they were like,
Right.
what is going on? And then as time evolved, it got better. So give a little bit of time for people to learn the meta and people to get interested, and then we'll kick that off. But I will say this: I
So
do always want the circuit to be with the latest and greatest. I don't plan on keeping it old school when we have new things coming out.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing I'm excited about for next year's Dark Continent because Burst is supposed to end this year at the end of December. That's it. Burst is supposed to be
Hmm.
done. And if that's the case, we have that 6, 7 months of figuring out wacky, brand new stuff like that people
Yeah,
don't think of because there's too much stuff being released at a time.
yeah.
So we've got 7 months. Next thing you know, Moment's going to be the best driver in the game with a combo.
Man,
You
I was
know,
just about to say that. I was just about to say I got a moment, I got a mold of it. It was doing great in same spin, which it always usually tends to do, but it was also doing great in opposite spin. I didn't make finals, man. Um, I wasn't bummed out because not making finals it relieved some stress, but I wanted to bring out some spice. But hopefully I can next year. But yeah, it is like what you said. Got moment, high eternal. Um, there's some combos out there that could be made and it could shake up the meta for sure.
Mhm. Oh
You know?
yeah.
Yeah. So
so stay
go ahead.
cool.
Yeah.
So when we battled, was it intense or was it um very relaxing?
So I'll say this, brother. So I think Nightwing was talking to me. Someone was talking to me, and I can't remember who got the first point. Um, but I know it was like 1-1, and then it went 2-1, and I think it was in your favor. And at that point, whoever was talking to me, I started ignoring them, and then I stood up. So it got it got a little bit because that was my first loss of the day. I had won my other two, and yeah, I stood up and I was like, all right, let me take a second. Let me breathe and focus. And then I think we had that Perseus mirror match.
Yes.
Um and like that's my combo. That's my baby. So I was like, okay, I can do
But
this. And so I won't say like was it like tense with pressure, but I was definitely focused. And
okay.
yeah, I was focused. And I saw you too because Nightwing, yeah, I think it was Nightwing because you took your hat off. And Nightwing was like, oh, he done took his hat off, this and that. Like it was some focus going on. Like the first couple of points, it was like, hey, what's up, this and that. Like people talking in the background. And it was like, all right, man, I might lose this. Let me focus. And it would have been your first loss too if you did lose. So I think we were both
True.
like, yeah. How'd you
Yeah.
feel about it though?
It was a great battle. Honestly, I was I'm not going to say nervous, but I was kind of shocked. You
Yeah.
you you surprised me. It's not that I underestimated you. That
Hmm.
combo with the reboot was kind of, I was like, hold up, hold up. He must know something we don't know. So, you
Yeah.
know, man, I
Yeah.
kind of locked in. Then I was like, nah, he's not gonna get me with that.
And I
You
didn't. I
know,
think that combo did not do well for me that day. I think I lost. I don't think I won a single battle with it, but it's all good.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
battle though.
But
And
yeah, I would have been sad if my Perseus lost. I would have been like, oh my goodness, man, what's going on, James?
yeah,
But it was a good. I had fun.
yeah.
I had fun.
And last question for you: how many people did you battle from North Carolina that day?
Let me think of who I battled. I battled. I can't remember everyone that I battled. I know who I lost against. I lost against
Okay.
you. I lost against Crisis. That's Maryland, and I lost against Blast, which is Maryland, Virginia. Um, I
Blast is
won.
both. He's also North Carolina.
Yeah, yeah. He's East Coast,
That's
pretty
my
much.
buddy.
Yeah. I'll have to look back at challenge. I know I didn't battle Keys. He went 6-0. I didn't battle Big Caddy. I know I went against Zenki. That's Canada. And
Okay.
then okay, yeah, I did battle one of our local bladers. He is um it's not the atomic fungus, it's the quartz pixel. They're brothers. I went against
Okay.
him. He's from North Carolina, and then I went against I can't remember who else. I had to look back, but it was either at most it was two people from North Carolina, and everyone else was from other regions. Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it
All
was
I
fun.
didn't want to face nobody from Maryland.
right.
You did?
I was gonna say, so JC the champ, how did you feel about like all the different regions? Like, did they seem easier than the region you're from?
Um, I'm gonna say no because I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
Yeah,
So I believe the process of gearing up for the battle once the name was called. Now, if they would have called Crisis Crusher, I would have said, okay, let's go.
Right.
Now they calling someone I never played before. I'm like, oh man, I hope this guy don't have a bunch of counters. So
Right.
going
yeah,
in with that, going in with that is kind of hard. It's like, all right, okay, man, I post videos. I hope nobody's watching my videos. All
You,
right.
you know, the
yeah.
only region that I felt had a very different meta from everyone else was what is it? Ohio, Indiana.
Oh yeah,
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 They they were the only ones that I saw had like a different meta that they're used to using because they were using moment and stuff like that.
hmm
yeah,
And but at the same time, I then look at the records and I'm like, most of them only went 3-3.
yeah,
oh,
So it just makes me wonder, like I mean, I'm not like bashing them or anything on what they chose, but I'm just sitting there like, your meta is so different from the rest of ours. Is that a contributing factor to where their records were in comparison to? Because most of Maryland or
true.
North Carolina was 4-2,
yeah,
Yeah,
like 4-2
yeah,
or above. So,
yeah. Florida also. They had two
oh
players
yeah,
from Florida. It was Jay Sandra and CSC Raymond, and they both made finals.
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I don't think anybody else was from Florida.
yeah. I think they were the only two from Florida.
Yeah, they both made finals. They did exceptionally well. And then but I think as far as the finals went, it was all balanced. It wasn't one region was more than the other. Florida was in the finals, North Carolina, well, okay. It was just Florida, North Carolina, and Maryland in the finals.
Yeah,
Ohio
Okay.
didn't make the finals.
no
Um,
Ohio, no Canada.
no, and Georgia was there, but I can't. I feel like we kind of looped them in the Carolinas because they mainly play with us too.
Yeah.
Kind of like how y'all are with Virginia.
Yep.
Um, but I feel like it was pretty balanced. As far as like my perspective is the regions and the differences. I feel like North Carolina and Maryland play very similar, and I think Florida does also. But I don't think I think the one of the differences that North Carolina and Maryland did utilize attack. I don't know if Florida utilized attack. I can't. I have to look at their combos or try to look at some videos. But I think that probably was the difference if there was any.
Yeah. But Maryland doesn't use attack.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was that a joke or were you really saying that?
Oh no, that's a running joke. Remember
Oh
that's the thing
yeah,
on
yeah,
that's the thing on the WBO. Maryland doesn't run
yeah,
attack.
yeah.
No, we
I
love
was,
attack.
yeah, yeah. Y'all had attack. I think that was one of the differences was using attack. Shout out to Kirito too, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was one of the battles that that's like the battle that I recollected with a play by play because after that one my brain kind of got fried. Like all the other battles were great for the finals, but like it was so crazy because Kirito got the first point and then MJ the best ran him straight for 4 points, 4-1. And then Kirito was like, all right, bro. He pulled out that Excalibur 4-4. And it was like, this is a great battle. And it was attack. It was an attack battle. That's what was winning.
And
Um,
Yeah.
he only lost because he botched his launch. Well, I'm not gonna say he only lost, but he lost to botching his launch on that
mhm,
last one. Like, because I've got the video and I slowed it down and everything and watched it. I'm pretty sure when he went to launch, he tilted his angle a little extra than normal, and that just
mhm.
caused the Beyblade to just do that circle right around the edge and into the pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many factors like when it goes in deck, like what we're saying, like um and I don't know if this happened with him. I know it would have happened with me, but like the nerves thing is a thing. And you're thinking like
Yeah.
it is yeah, it's 4-4 right now. The next
Mm-hmm.
point wins. Let's get it. And sometimes but regardless, he did fabulous. I think everyone did well. The top eight was sweet
Yeah.
to watch. It really was. It really was. Um, but yeah, man, I want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all both. Thank y'all for coming out to the Dark Continent. Thank y'all for helping me, helping build the Blade community. I wish y'all success with Team Palooza. I'm really looking forward to see what team is going to take that overall. Maryland, y'all have a whole lot. I need to look at the Florida teams and how they have them set up to see how that's going to go. Um, but yeah, man, I wish y'all success and thank you for coming to the show today, JC. I'm going to put your channel down in the link below, even though you're way
Thank you.
bigger than us.
No,
You're
no,
way bigger
not
than
at
what we
all.
got.
Not
Yeah,
at all.
but
I appreciate you,
thank
brother.
you. Yeah, I appreciate you
Thank
too,
you.
man. Thank you as well, Crisis, for hopping back up here and doing everything once again and helping me.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
thought
and
Christ was hard on me today. Crisis
you
didn't have
said he
no
was.
questions. I thought he was gonna be hard. Yeah, I thought Crisis was gonna ask me some serious questions. But before we go, I'm just gonna let you guys know that Crisis helped me become who I am. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say. So
Oh,
thank
thank
you,
you,
yeah,
man.
Crisis. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, no,
on that,
Maryland
we
works
go.
pretty well together with teaching each other the like combos and what's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. On that, I definitely wanted to say what you said, the vibe at Dark Continent and the community, um, because we all are competitive and we all do learn from each other and working with each other. And I think that's a beauty. It's big into the gaming world, but sometimes, like I said, like some communities can be toxic and they're more hateful to each other than anything, and it destroys it.
Yeah.
So I am very grateful that we do have a community, especially in its younger stages right now, that is helpful and helping each other because that's how we're gonna grow. You know,
Yep.
That's how we're gonna go.
100%. That's how we're
True.
gonna grow. So, to everyone listening, continue to get out there, keep playing hard, grow your competitive scene, grow your competitive community. Got any questions? Feel free to reach out to any of us. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos. Subscribe to JC's channel, like his videos, as well as Crisis Crusher '07. His link will also be in the description below. All right, thank y'all again. Keep blading hard and take care.
Peace.
Bye.